Welcome, affiliated listeners, to another amazing episode of the Affiliated Podcast. And just to make things interesting, I'm in a new location, but I am joined by my fantastic co-host, Thomas McMahon, in our podcast studios. Thomas, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Kyle. It's been great to see you again. I feel like we've hardly seen each other for the last 2 months with us traveling
I
all over the
know.
place. But yeah,
Yes. You going to
I miss my
platinum, me going
Kyle.
to less exciting places. So don't worry. I'll take when I trim my beard, I'll give the shaving so you can put on your pillow. Feel like we're close
Thank
to
you.
each other for our next
Mine's
pillow
running
talk.
low.
So
Yeah.
yeah. Well, we are today, guys. I'm really excited because honestly, I know we've had some conversations about AI in the past. I'm sure a lot of you are kind of almost sick of hearing about AI, but you want to do something with it. And a lot of the pain points is, listen, there's a lot of AI out there, but what's good AI? What's bad AI? What should I actually be doing in my business? And I can make all the cat pictures and cool stuff with Donald Trump riding a unicorn grizzly bear across Mars. That's neat, but that's not making my business better. I'm not getting better affiliate sales. Where do I apply things properly? Today, that mystery gets to be cleared up. We're going to we have amazing guests today that are here as specialists and telling you how to not only use AI, but AI and automation to supercharge your business and give you the roadmap and the guide to know where to input this automation paired with AI so you could take this super powerful engine and finally have it start generating dollars into your business much more substantially than you're doing previously or even at all. So I am so excited. And with that, excited to introduce you to Karrie Christen and Quinn with Market X. How are you two doing today?
Amazing.
Doing
Thank
well.
you.
Thank you. Good to see
Yeah.
y'all.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. And I will say, it's going to be tough to not get hungry during this podcast with Kevin's awesome air fryer secret sign in the back. I'm just wondering what the
Oh my
secrets of
goodness.
all these air fryers are. So, well, great guys. Well, I'm really happy to have you here today. And so, as we mentioned, kind of the lead there, we really want to talk about AI. There's just so much out there. There's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad. And more importantly, there's what do I do with it? It's this big engine and all these things out there. So before we kind of jump into that, could you give us just a little bit of background on kind of where your AI and automation expertise is coming from? And then we'll kind of go from there.
Definitely. All right. So I have been in marketing for about 26 years and I love systems. And so ever since the beginning of my career, I systematized everything. If it needed to be done more than 2 times, there was a system around it. It didn't matter if it was me or if it was for somebody else. What's really awesome is now we have these additional tools and they're coming at us so fast and furious. The first automation came in and now AI for the last, 18 months. This is all we've heard about, but how do you utilize it? So I have dove in just at 100% and I am studying everything on how to not just use AI, because that is a huge waste of time, but how to utilize AI to create repeatable systems that constantly bring it back around so that it's grabbing customers, selling a product, and putting money in the pocket. And it's continually going around. Outside of that, yeah, it's cool. I can create dumb posters and all of that good stuff. But personally, I like to make money, and I think you guys all do too. So that is where my passion comes from when it comes to AI. And you'll hear me refer to AI not only as artificial intelligence, but automation intelligence. So that's where I'm going to bring it together. And I'm kind of super excited to be able to share this with you guys.
That is exciting, Gary. You got me excited for sure. So, even though it is fun making dumb posters, but yeah, automation intelligence sounds cool because that's like the rosy robot that's making my life easier.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
what about you, Quinn? Tell us a little, or Kevin, tell us a little about yourself. I don't know why I went with your last
Yeah,
name, but if you just,
I'm an old
yeah,
guy, and
yeah.
I never thought I'd be using AI. To be honest with you, I'm probably gonna have to talk with you after this, Kyle, on how to make cool posters because. But the really cool thing for me and what I've learned from the AI side, after almost 25 years in the tech sector, AI has really transformed the tech side for me in a way to measure behavior. And I'm using it in a lot of different ways. The behavior patterns online, even for myself, we've got some great things that we've been working on, and to have somebody tell us our behavior and where we've been and how and what we've clicked on sites and how to use that data is pretty cool for us. So that the great thing about our system and some of the tools that we have will really benefit your affiliates and people who are considering how best to measure behavior online and how to use that to your advantage. And so I'll allow Karrie to really expand on that. But 25 years in the tech industry as an old guy, AI has made it a lot easier for me as an old guy to use these systems online and to track that data and to use that in a traffic ecosystem way to better measure what people are doing on our sites.
Perfect. Well, Kevin, you're not an old guy. You got a cool hat. You got a nice background. You got air fire secrets. That does not sound like old to me. Now, if you were stodgy and telling me that AI is a bad thing, then maybe we might have a different boomer conversation. So, well, Thomas, I know we kind of talked before. You had some questions around AI. Why don't you ask Karrie and Kevin a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm excited to dive into this because as a sales marketing geek, I've quickly become a operations systems geek because that's where I think the real rubber meets the road in a business and what lets scale happen and not just be a flash in the pan cash flow moment, right? So, Karrie, I'm curious, like, what are you seeing out there in the space right now? Like, what are you seeing your clients or yourself do to kind of help with this automation piece? Like, where's like the low hanging fruit for a business to start using AI to help automate?
As far as what I'm seeing is the low hanging fruit, and I want to keep pulling this back into, the affiliate world, because obviously this works in all businesses, but I want to keep pulling it back to that. So with affiliates, obviously, the more eyes you can get on the products that you are selling, and the more eyes you can get on content you're creating, the more likely you are going to be able to build that relationship and get somebody to click that button to buy something. And so, one of the things that I'm seeing, well, at least let's just start here. One of is that content creation piece. But where I'm seeing huge failure is that people are just saying, create this content, write this post. I'm going to take it a step farther. And I'm going to say the number one thing that I would suggest everybody does is actually utilize a persona. Create a persona in your AI that is actually the ideal, juicy character that your audience is going to fall in love with. And to do that, you've got to be able to have a backstory. You've got to be able to understand what that AI persona, everything about them. And you can actually utilize AI to create this persona. And what's really cool about this is that when you do that, you feed everything you create through the filter of that persona. And what's really neat is that is where the magic actually happens. That is where AI is able to speak to your ideal customers' fears, desires, their humanity, and it doesn't come across as it was written by AI, but it comes across like it was written by a person. So I'm in a unique industry outside of Market X, and so we write for those people. Actually, we create personas for those people in that industry. And it's so cool because every persona is completely different. It's the same industry, but each one of them, they know and they understand who they're serving. And so we can utilize AI to really dive down and get that amazing human being that's going to write for you utilizing AI. Once you have that, you can write social media posts. You could take a video you saw on the product that you are selling, and you could feed that through your AI persona and have it start creating content for you that is actually not just going to regurgitate what maybe that affiliate product owner says about their product, because that might fit a very general avatar, but you know your avatar. So we're going to put it through that. We're going to have your persona actually redo all of that and share that content. I don't know. Anybody here think that having it written for you, having it, is the best way to share information? It hits home, right?
Yeah.
So I think that is the lowest hanging fruit that everybody is missing out on. And then obviously we want to utilize automation and tracking so that we can see where our customers are actually showing interest, what they're clicking on the most, because we utilizing automation fueled by all of that awesome AI content, we can start to measure what is actually resonating with them. And without even needing to analyze it, we can start switching up the messages that they get. We can start putting specific products in front of them through text, through email. Heck, I'm going to even go farther. What if you could voice drop a thing and say, hey, I think this might be right for you based on what you were looking at on the site. If you've got
Wow.
any
Yeah.
questions, check this out. And you can have all of that automated ahead
And
of time.
would that be in the persona's voice too on that
You can do
audio
it in
drop?
the persona's voice. Yes, sir, you
Mm.
can. I have got this
Crazy.
one, right? I have this one client, and he is this gruff 76-year-old man, and he had a throat injury, and he talks like this. So as he has gotten older, he has started struggling to create content, and the content he was creating, no joke, in his 70s, he was hitting 2 million plus views immediately after putting a piece of content out, selling t-shirts.
Dang.
Well, it
Wow.
started
Jeez.
slowing him down. So we recreated him specifically as his own persona AI avatar, and everything runs through that now. Now his family is okay no matter what happens to him. His wife is okay no matter what happens to him. And now that's a story of somebody obviously starting to age out of their business. But think about how that can supercharge everything we are doing. You could have 6 personas that write for your business because it's
Can
all
you,
AI.
yeah. Can you start to break down the automation piece here a little bit? Because like the prompting ChatGPT or whatever AI system you're using, whether it's Claude or whatever, is relatively straightforward, right? Or, I know the prompt chaining and how you start to use the prompts is an art in itself. But when you talk about the automation piece, what are you liking right now? Like, what are you seeing people doing to kind of help automate this process so it's not just me and ChatGPT all day getting it to do different
Yeah.
things?
Well, and
So
actually, real fast before we do that, I want to hold on a question. I just want to say
yeah,
one thing, and think one thing that was really powerful you said in the personas, just for those that maybe have struggled with some of the chat GBT or using AI in these large aggregated senses. I just think it's really powerful because the persona shrinks down the internet that it's pulling from, the data that
oh,
it's looking
yeah.
for. So instead of it going, a million miles wide, it's going to go a million miles deep into the human persona. I just always like to bring it up because one of the best explanations today I gave was to think of it as a mirror, right? So it is your consumer's mirror to what they want to see. So mirror, mirror on the wall, tell me all the things I want, and AI brilliantly does that. So unlocking it appropriately is where that could get really magical. And definitely, I love what you're talking about, that persona and building that, and then having it kind of go wild on what it does best, which is give us the mirror to what we want and a voice that we think is somebody else, right? That we
Oh,
connect
yeah.
with. So that being said, yeah, I'm super curious on how to automate that because we're building a persona. Yet I think that's probably a whole different conversation, but definitely how you turn that into your business so it just keeps running and running and running.
Well, I would even say from a super easy, simple way to start, let's just assume you are using chat. Um, I would probably create a new conversation, and I would name it at the top. And I would actually tell it every time I tell you to reference this document, I want you to reference this conversation. I would put files in there. I would put everything I want that to know. And that way, even if I'm just simply using chat, I can say, in this conversation we're about to have, I need you to use, and I like to come up with a nice creative name so that it's easy to go back to that document. It will always go back to that conversation, and it will pull from that conversation. So you could start something new on social media post. And this is a very basic version of it, but this is huge for anybody who's using AI and wants to have something very consistent, very kind of catered to their ideal client avatar or avatars, and really getting to know. And then I would go back and be adding to that original conversation everything that I learn about my ideal avatars. So just kind of a little tip and a way to
That
do
makes
it.
sense. So So are
great.
you having it, just to clarify, are you having the, like say chat, are you having it reference past or a unique conversational thread that you've created and going back to that
Yes.
thread? Okay,
Mhm.
gotcha. Yeah.
And I name the
Mm.
thread at the top, and I name it something
Hmm.
unique so that I can always say, when I ask you to refer back to this, this is that document.
So then if you pull up a new chat, you can just be like, hey, refer back to X, write me
Exactly.
X. Okay.
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
that makes sense.
Nice. So that
Super
that hurt the
easy.
character limit.
But
You
I
can really
like to
build.
reprompt it for every single thing I need, Karrie.
Don't we all? It's our addiction to AI.
That's
Yeah,
actually why I fell
yeah.
off using it a bit. I was like, I have to reprompt this thing to be this thing every single
Uh-huh.
time, or it
Yeah,
evolves.
yeah,
Okay,
and then
that makes sense. Yeah.
you copy paste a
Hmm.
prompt, and like all of a sudden the answer's different. And you're like, what happened? What did I do wrong? You know?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, no.
I keep separate notes of that for my different personas as well as
Mhm,
the avatar who I want to speak to. So if it's B2C or
mhm.
B2B, the conversation can change and it will actually create content based on not only the persona that I'm referencing, but also the audience that I'm targeting.
Hmm.
Smart.
That's awesome. No, that's really, really powerful. So, let me ask you. So, let's say kind of dive deep on this kind of persona thing. What I'd love to do. So, I see the automation at a very simple level, just creating the multiple chats that you could reference. So, you're not reprompting all the time. You could even probably start to build layers
Hmm.
of chat. So, I imagine you could get really, really in depth. For example, I know have a friend that one of the things they do with AI is they do a lot of contract negotiations. So, they have a series of ways to build personas and profiles of the people they're negotiating with, and then doing simulations from there, which is super cool stuff. But I was wondering, so with the persona, when you have that built, you have it kind of generating with it. Can you give me some examples of maybe you mentioned kind of the t-shirt business, maybe some other ways, and some of the stats that you guys have seen with unleashing these kind of personas onto people?
Hmm. Well, I think everybody here and probably everybody listening knows that we like to do business with people. We don't do businesses with companies. So the more we can personalize how a conversation goes and to make it feel like you're not communicating with a customer service department, um, you can utilize this with everybody who's helping you within your business. What's really cool is as AI is growing, and it's so much more common now to have those AI bots on your site. How awesome is it that that AI bot is actually able to speak and give advice to your website visitor based on everything it knows, but within that conversational tone that matches everything else you do? It takes that branding to a whole new level. So, um, just because I've been in marketing for 26 years, I I know that every time you create a shift, you're creating a chasm. Um, and so anytime, I mean, if it's just a shift in colors or messaging between pages, you just start to create this chasm that gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And although as a human being who's sitting there reading it, I'm not logically going to know. This is why I'm not feeling like I want to move forward. But because I kind of nerd out on psychology too, so my reptilian brain is literally going, screw this, fear, fear, fear. I don't even
Mhm.
know what's happening. But because that part of my brain is being triggered, that I don't feel safe, things are different, it doesn't match up, I can lose a sale. It doesn't matter if it's for a $10 product or a $2,000 product or a $50,000 product. The more consistency I can have with every aspect of what I do, how I communicate, and even how I answer those questions, that's where the AI personas come into play so much. So if every ounce of communication that comes from your business, even if it is from, Chatty Cathy the bot, uh, it is coming across as if it is this person that is designed to make them feel comfortable, is designed to give them the empathy they need, but is also fueled with all of the education about the product, about the common usage, anything
Common
like
uses, yeah. It's yeah, I
that.
get what you're saying. You're good. Yep.
Then we're keeping that chasm small.
Mhm.
And I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's creating this fidelity of a personalized experience, right? As human beings, we always want to feel tribally connected to something. We're constantly placing ourselves in a category. And
Yes.
we know that marketing, essentially you niche down, but you can't niche down in the way the AI can because it
Mhm.
knows it so much deeper, right? You're always going to have some sort of drop off, like you said, the chasm of this isn't me, so I don't want to pay attention anymore. And
Exactly.
what did I was at a conference, Smart Marketer, last week, and Ezra Firestone said that we're in the economy of attention and trust, right? We used to be intention, just attention based, but now attention and trust. And we trust those that feel and mirror just like us. That's really impactful. So,
Mhm.
yeah, well, Thomas, do you have any other questions around the automation piece or anything on the personas?
Well, at risk of getting a little too technical, but also wanting to be like how, like when you said something a little bit ago about how you're able to take and kind of track what users are engaging with,
Ah,
whether it's on the
yes.
site or online, and then automating what else they're seeing through it. Like, how are you tying that all together?
Okay, I
Yeah.
love this question, and I'm actually glad because I was going to push back to this because as much as I love AI, man, I love automation. So
And
anything
that
that
needs to be like a special drink, an automation drink. Sit back and watch the money get made, right? Yeah.
oh my goodness. So
Automation martini.
yes. So within our software, we use something called trigger links. And so what's really cool is these trigger links, um, they do multiple things. And this, there's a lot of ways. This is just one little piece of the puzzle, but it is one of the most powerful pieces of the puzzle, because it literally magnetizes all the other pieces of the puzzle to come together and kind of just start popping into place for you. Um, so trigger links are a way for you to you could kind of think of them like short links, but they're smart short links. And what's
Hmm.
really cool, like instead of using short links that have, not your brand, these are all short, they're all links that are direct to your website. And what is really cool is when you do this and you're sending out things anywhere where you have that person like on your mailing list, or you're connected with them on social media. These short links then are tracked by the system. And so I'm going to give you the idea of a newsletter because this is, I really nerd out on newsletters. I think there is magic and gold within automation and AI, for affiliates within the newsletter realm. Uh,
Hmm.
but I can share information that's not even about my business. I could have my I can have my AI persona um, summarize this video that I'm going to share that I did not create, and I can use a trigger link to share that video where I'm tracking that they clicked on it for the interest. And then in my automation sequences that I can build to track down to a gnat's ass. That's, I mean, I can't get more clear than that. It can be that detailed. The head of a pin on what they've done. So now I can say when this person shows interest in this, or when this person shows interest in this, this, and this is a combination, or and they do this, and I could say all of these things, what they do. I want you to move them into this marketing plan or this new list segment. I want you to add them to this marketing segment. And after they watch this video, or let's say it's a video I created so I can actually track how much they watched, I want you to actually offer them this product within 30 minutes of them watching that video.
So you could train the AI to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's the AI is kind of creating the foundation of interest. The automation is what is tracking and just systematically watching and changing things within the system. And at the whole time in our system, you can see all of this. You can actually track everywhere they've been, everything they've clicked on, every interest they've shown, which then can be utilized. In my mind, I don't want to manually look at that and guess. I want my automation to take over because my brain I will fail if I have to do it manually. If I can
Mhm.
automate it, I will create success. And if I crack the code of that perfect sequence, I'm going to make money. Which is why we're here. It's why we're doing what we're doing. So the automation allows us to test those sequences to see if we know this and this about somebody, does this make them more likely to purchase this product? And how quickly can I get them to purchase this product after they have shown interest? First of all, we know that people like to make decisions when they get excited. So I want to reach them within an excitement mode. I can determine based on how many times they've clicked on certain things when
Gotcha.
that is going to be appropriate. And I can test it until I find that number that is perfect. And
Mhm.
so we've seen this with, oh goodness, I'm going to space out what the newsletter is called. But she started the newsletter during COVID for a few $1,000s. She just sold it. I mean, an insane amount of money. She doesn't sell anything. She just sells affiliate products, and it's makeup.
Nice.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, not only does she make all of this money off of these affiliate products because it's only women and she's tracking every ounce of their interest, and then she's putting product offers in front of them immediately based on what they've done. Those product offers show up from a trusted source. Sometimes she has those product offers right in her newsletter, but those product offers are showing up immediately after they show interest or they show enough interest. And so I don't know. I think I see you guys go. I see.
With the newsletter piece in that example, are they being delivered in email format all the time? Like, is it so if I engage with this newsletter, I click through on these links, and then they're
Mhm.
getting a follow up email from
Yeah,
that with that promotion for whatever it might be?
that is what I am personally seeing as the best
Hmm.
option. Now, what's really cool about this concept is not only are you able to make revenue from selling those affiliate products that you are utilizing AI to create content around based on your ideal, consumer, your ideal avatars, their fears, their needs, everything, knowing everything. You are probably able to produce that newsletter in under an hour for an in-depth newsletter. Realistically, less when you get on top of it. I can probably produce a newsletter in about 30 minutes. Everybody on my team can produce a newsletter in an hour. Those are overseas people. They utilize our platform. They utilize our prompt chains based on each business. Each business has anywhere from 1 to 3 personas for their newsletter. And then we are utilizing the links that link directly back to my email address. So
Mhm.
let's just say it's, Karrie at KarrieChristen.com. I need every one of those trigger links, those fully trackable links that I can then utilize my automation intelligence to track and change how we market to them and send immediate offers to those people. But email deliverability goes up because I'm regularly sending them an email that's being opened, and all of those links match the email that it's being sent to.
Mm.
Oh, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
I would like to say it's a trifecta of amazingness, but I think it's so much more than that.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
no, it's just, I want to make sure I'm understanding. So it's just for everyone at home too, the tracking, because that sounds super cool. So just as we go all the way back, we're going to have a persona
yeah.
that we're going to build to
Mhm.
create the automation of the persona. What we're doing is we're referencing at a very simple level other previous conversations, which allows us to build a multi-layered persona. And then
Yes.
from that persona, we can then build other stuff to produce creative, so on and so forth. But the big side here is now we look at our distribution, right? How do we target our distribution for
Oh,
sales? So by creating these links, which I think we're using newsletters, 'cause that's where it's been most effective, but you could probably do this in a lot of different ways. Wherever
social
you could have a link, social
content.
media, yeah, I imagine SMS.
SMS.
You
Yes,
could do,
please, all day long.
yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, it could be
Even
various
paid
YouTube
ads, right?
videos.
You get
Mhm.
those paid ads and multiple different retargeting campaigns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Imagine
would
how
think
many
one,
time you can get on the ads with that data.
yeah,
Mhm.
like this makes me kind of jump when I think about quiz funnels, because now you could take a
Yes.
sequence of answers in a quiz to build multiple different personas. And since you could build personas more dynamically and automated, now we get a web of delight, right? In terms of how we could really start customizing. So these links, then this is the part where I just want to make sure. So as the links click, you're creating within your automation, within your AI, essentially, hey, if they click XYZ, then do this. So it feeds back to the AI to then deliver that next customized thing. And
Oh
then
yeah.
we take our automation martinis, we sip in Cabo, and you watch just dollars come in is
Oh
essentially what's
yeah. I
going
mean,
on.
and honestly, you mentioned quiz funnels. Yeah, guess what? Our system uses AI to do those quiz funnels.
Oh,
And
even create the quiz funnels too.
yes,
Cool.
it's
Yes,
amazing.
that's great.
It's amazing because you can do it utilizing your persona. What are the questions that should be asked in what order during this quiz based on everything you know about my ideal avatar? Put it in one system. It is then tracking everything. I mean, you bring in, you want to, hey, here's some content. Here, we'd like to invite you to our free community, where now they're in your community. They can also click on links, and you can utilize those links to track and supercharge the marketing that goes to them and get more and more granular and speak more clearly to them. This is the power of AI, and specifically AI, artificial
Hmm.
intelligence and automation intelligence. Man, it doesn't get sexier
Yeah.
than this, guys.
How advanced is like the automation intelligence piece? Like, is it actually dynamically changing itself, or are you like still pulling the levers to say like, okay, I want this flow to happen if this trigger happens?
You There are so many possibilities. You want to be able to set that up initially.
Hmm.
But it's not complicated. It's a drag and drop system. And now I think the thing, even though I'm saying it's a drag and drop system, the thing that does make it complicated, and that's why it's so important for why I built it this way, our business this way, is that we have 24/7, you're never alone, real human being support. So that you have somebody you can actually say, this is what I'm trying to do. And they could say, this is how you actually do it. Um, and I love that because when there are that many options, and there are an insane amount of options. It it could be based on how many times they've contacted you, how many articles they've read, how many this they've done, that they have actually commented on a post on your social media, because our system is tracking all of it.
Mm.
So
Gotcha. So it's building a lot of that persona. And so from that, like it does still sound like there's a level of you having to have the manual intervention to read the results and analyze, okay, I probably need this many clicks. I need this kind of videos to kind of qualify and feed into the persona for XYZ product. I mean, are you doing anything where the AI even selects the products, agnostic of your decision making, and says, hey, based on these clicks, based on this persona, this is what, and based on what you said, this is what you should sell, and it even pulls affiliate recommendations in? Or is it still kind of requiring that manual layer of like directing the AI in automation intelligence?
actually, we can take that a step farther. On The easiest way is obviously to have some of that input to build out your system, but you can put in all of your products into AI and start to take that data and actually filter it through. So even with, we have fully AI fueled chatbots that
Hmm.
are fueled with all of this knowledge, all of these personas, every ounce of information on every product that you offer. Now, I would probably, um, I haven't thought this out very much, but if somebody's selling supplements, I might keep one system just for supplements because, or maybe let's keep it related. So, I mean, supplements, fitness could be together if those supplements are related to fitness, right? Um, because at that point, then you could actually have AI working that out. And then AI could actually send back data into the system So it could be simply a tag. Like it pulls out all of this information, and we're definitely getting a little more complicated here, but
Yeah.
we can have AI pull out data based on history and conversations. We could also have our chatbot be able to communicate and ask the right type of questions so that products could then be recommended that are truly appropriate for each person. And based on that conversation is automatically tracked within the system. And we could ask the system to track certain words. And then switch marketing up based on that. So,
That's awesome.
yes, it's possible. I'd say that takes a little more hand holding for the average person,
Mhm.
but it's totally doable.
Love that. I love that a lot. That's really
No,
amazing. Well, I
right?
realized I was just looking at the clock and thinking, oh my gosh, we could end up like I just want to scratch something. I feel like we're scratching the surface.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
so many more questions. So just want to recap actually before I know there's some other things that if you as a listeners really enjoyed what Karrie and Kevin was bringing to the table, they have some really exciting things that an opportunity for you to learn even more impactful things and things to share with you. The great news is we've actually partnered with MartnerX or Martner X. Wow, apparently my brain just stopped working. So we have partnered with Market X. So this is not going to be the only podcast that we do. We'll create a cadence. We're going to have some regular guests. We're definitely going to have to start getting these automation martinis for the future ones,
Well,
Thomas. I
yeah,
feel like
baby.
that's good. That's going to be the way we tink these off or start these off. But beforehand, I just want to kind of recap again is the big thing for people who are looking here and wondering, okay, what should I do with AI? And I think oftentimes it's, I want to create a lot of mediocre content. I want to create mediocre images. I want to try and automate my emails or just make it so I don't have to write as much. And we tend to just lower the bar of what we're doing. I see a lot of people above average go to average, and people who are slightly below average might move slightly up, but that's not moving the needle towards money. So with what Karrie and Kevin are talking about here, it's how do we transition into creating a persona that understands our people so it unleashes targeted content, and then using automation, not only make that system happen, but it's feeding back data into the AI so you get dynamic content being created that sells because it knows the people, and that system just keeps feeding back more and more data. And honestly, just as sports, I remember way back when we were in the early days of AI, well, it feels like the early days of AI. Perry Belcher used to talk about these. He said it's AI with machine learning as a supercharged force. When you automatically feed data into the AI and let it continue to produce back, that's when, as you said, Karrie, the magic truly happens. So if you've been frustrated and thinking that, you know what, this AI is just garbage, it's not doing anything to make me money, it's just wasting me time, really, really take this into account, build that persona, start getting these links to feedback in that data, and watch your money roll in, or at least whatever you're trying to do, watch that impact grow really fast. So really, really appreciate this again. This is fantastic. But as I said, for you guys actually have a couple of things that you're doing for our audience are really, really exciting. I don't want to steal your thunder, so feel free to talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, first, if you guys have a platinum account manager and you would like to reach out to them, learn a little bit more about our product, and actually set up a strategy session with both Kevin and I, reach out to your account manager. If you are not currently with ClickBank, and you guys really should be, but reach out to the guys. They're going to put all of this information into the show notes, but they will also have a way to get you in touch with us so that you can just do a brainstorming session. This isn't something we open to everybody. This is very much because of our partnership with ClickBank, and we're really excited about this. The other thing that we are doing is that we are doing some completely complimentary classes. The first one is all about the high level system. So if you haven't heard of Go High Level, we actually build our system on that. It's supercharged in ways that you can't even imagine. And obviously, if you're thinking high level, you definitely want to check out Market X first. But if you're curious if that Go High Level system is right for you, we are starting to teach classes specifically for affiliates with everything that you guys need to do within your business because of our ClickBank partnership. And so we're going to have a link in the show notes for that. And along with that class, we're offering, doesn't matter who you are utilizing for your high level system. We, of course, hope you'll use ours, but we are making sure that you guys understand everything about the basics of high level, how to utilize them as an affiliate. And so you'll be able to access both of these classes free. All you need to do is check out the guys' show notes, and all of that info is going to be in there.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thomas, any other questions too? Because I definitely want to talk a little bit more, and I'll recap on those 2 workshops and the amazing gift of just time, right? Of the mind share and brilliance of these 2 individuals. And if you thought, wow, that sounded really cool, I want more, we'll talk about that. But any other questions for Karrie and Kevin or thoughts before we send them off?
I love the energy, Karrie. I can tell you're passionate about it, and I'm really excited to see what you can do for our listener base. But plenty of questions, none that I'll derail the conversation with right now. So Kyle, if you want to go with it.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, again, guys, so for those out there, if you're on the platform, you've hit a platinum level, that means 250K in the last calendar year, and you have an account manager you're talking to, whether you're an affiliate, offer owner. Again, an amazing offer that Karrie and Kevin are providing for us. So go reach out to your account manager. They're going to have a special link for you. Their time is so valuable. We can't make this public to everybody. And for those that aren't on the platform, that are listening and think that they do qualify, that they know from a business level, they're there, they have the revenue, you're doing things maybe off platform, please reach out to us at affiliated@clickbank.com. We'll ask some questions. We can't just send everybody in there. So if you're like, hey, I have a hope and a dream, can I talk to Karrie and Kevin? Probably not. So but those that have something in there, we'll ask some questions to make sure to qualify and get you in front so you can really, as we kind of, like I said, my head's buzzing with questions, so I can't imagine what you must be as a listener, and get that clarified and get action to your business with the right type of AI and automation today, as well as those workshops. These are going to be huge. I know all of us have been hearing about high level if you're not using it right now, and it feels like this is the next big thing that's already arrived in our business. So how do I utilize it instead of letting it utilize me, which feels like you might be in the latter category. So those workshops are going to be hugely valuable. Again, whether you go with MarketX or not, it's information that will definitely empower your business. So again, thank you so much for the time, guys. Really, really appreciate it. What an amazing way to kick off. I'm thinking this is probably going to launch around Thanksgiving. So let us just be grateful for what for what we have with you guys in the partnership. And until next time, what do we tell the people, Thomas?
We tell them happy scaling.
Be scaling. All right, great, everyone. Be safe out there. Thanks so much.